Sturzkampfbomberstaffel, starten. Sturzkampfbomberstaffel, fliegen aus. Torpedobomberstaffel, starten. Angriff beginnen. Sturzkampfbomberstaffel in der Luft. Ziel getroffen. Torpedobomberstaffel fliegen aus. Jägerstaffel in der Luft. Wir sind getroffen. Ziel angreifen. Sturzkampfbomberstaffel starten. Angriff beginnen. Gegnerische Torpedos gesichtet. Torpedobomberstaffel in der Luft. Sturzkampfbomberstaffel starten. Sturzkampfbomberstaffel fliegen aus. Ziel angreifen. Wir werden angegriffen. Jägerstaffel starten. Torpedobomberstaffel fliegen aus. Angriff beginnen. Gegnerische Schiff zerstört.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to World of Warships Blitz with Terry. We are once again in an aircraft carrier. 2 this week, yes, I know. And this time around, it's the Tier 6. It's the German aircraft carrier, the Weser. This thing actually, well, didn't exist, but sort of existed a bit more than the Tier 4 one, if I can say this. On the bottom of it, so if you think away the flight deck that they've stuck on top of it, this would have been the Seydlitz, the sister ship of the Admiral Hipper, which was kind of sort of complete, but then the Germans did realize a little bit late in the game that aircraft carriers are actually good. Not everybody agreed with that in the beginning. During the First World War, the Germans mostly thought that Zeppelins would be superior to aircraft in terms of dropping unpleasant things on the enemy. And it took the British to single-handedly aircraft the Italian fleet at Taranto and single-handedly aircrafting the Bismarck out of the water as well, and almost the Tirpitz with various things, that the Germans woke up to the problem and started picking up on the Graf Zeppelin again and thought, hey, we're going to need a couple more escort carriers rather than building more surface ships. So they considered, or they started actually converting this thing, and just didn't manage to finish it. And in the end, the unfinished hull was sunk, and that was that. But yeah, we're a little bit closer to reality with this. Unfortunately, we're not closer to reality in the loadout on this thing, because these, as you can see, are still biplanes. So this might be due to the fact that this is a hypothetical earlier conversion, because with the Tier 6, with Tier 6 we're still not quite in the, well, sort of in the World War II region. So the reason I'm saying this is that the Weser was supposed to have the Bf-109s, the carrier version, and the Stuka. And they didn't not these things. These are these are biplanes still. So okay, but let's have a closer look and see what we're actually getting here. I am going to put the tier 4 as well, so the Rhein, just so we can compare how these two will differ. The first thing that stands out is that the Weser actually gets the secondary overload skill, and this will increase range and reload by 20%. So that's nice, because we already had auto secondaries in the first one, and that topic is continuing. Now, this thing, well, it's not quite an Admiral Hipper, I think, but it is definitely a little bit sturdier than what we've seen previously. So relatively well armored, actually, and a decent uptick of hit points. Also very fast with 31 knots. Turn time, maneuverability, a little bit less. And the auto secondaries have been upped from the 88 millimeters to 105 millimeters. So that once again matches the actual historical design of what was supposed to become the Weser, where they would have added these as dual purpose guns on. We get a lot more of them. We actually get 5 twins, and they get a slightly better range, but interestingly enough doing the exact same amount of damage, which isn't an awful lot, but it's still there. Instead of the Heinkels, we now get the Arado AR-81. This was actually a competing design towards the Stukas, and the Junkers got eventually chosen over them. So this is not completely out of the blue here, that these would be here. So sort of like, what if things had gone a different direction? We get more of them, and we now get 2 dive bombers per squadron, not just 3 dive bombers per squadron, not just 2. And they still don't set any fires, because these are, as I've talked about in the last video, these are armor-piercing bombs that these things are dropping. They are not, they don't set fires, but they can citadel. I think the citadel damage is still at around 150% from what I've seen. But so it's not an awful lot, but you know, it's sort of for the feeling, if you know what I mean. Like it's that yes feeling that you get from citadeling something, even if it only does like 400 additional points of damage or something. We've got the exact same torpedo planes, the Arado 95B. We'd only get more of them, and now we get 3 per squadron, not just 2. And they do a bit more damage and have a bit more hit points. So that's good. The torpedoes are still very quick, and they are having a low chance of flattening comparatively, but 11% is not actually that bad anymore. And we get fighters. We get 9 fighters. They are okay. I would say average, not outstanding in any way, but they're there, and you can start doing fightery things with them. They're not bad. The AA is actually quite good, and once again, I think that's down to the 105 millimeters dual purpose guns that these things are sailing with. The concealment is a bit worse, but we're now in tier 6, so we can set things up a little bit differently. Am I looking at the right ship here? I'm not looking at the right ship here. That is the right ship. Let's fix that, shall we? So I don't get any funny ideas. This thing is still smaller than the Erich Löwenhardt and does not have the 150 millimeter derp guns on these things, which were just so much fun, which is a bit of a shame. But I feel like it's a lost opportunity there to make a whole tech tree line with these things. I've gotten the fighter modification here for better fighter speed and attack efficiency. I think fighter attack efficiency is only against enemy fighters. I'm not 100% certain. But generally people told me that that's the best thing to get, so I stick with it. The alternative, obviously, the ground service to get a faster cycle time. But you don't have an awful lot of planes. It's relatively easy to get deplaned on these things. So I figured that would be a good choice. Might as well try. And then I've got the steering in slot 2 because I'm actually using the concealment mod in slot 3. So you can hang around a little bit longer in where you need to be. The elite bonus is interesting. So I was experimenting, obviously, with the elite ground service because that sounded more logical. You can get the dive bomber upgrade, which gives them more hit points, which is obviously makes sense. But it decreases the bomber attack range. Now, I'm not sure what that means. I've never heard of that mechanic. So presumably, I would assume, and I think I've read it somewhere, it could have been on the announcement or something, that they drop from relatively from relatively up high. So it could mean that they don't have the greatest precision on Earth, which sort of would match with what I've seen, because these dive bombers seem to be not particularly precise. But if that reduces the height from which they are dropping, then maybe that increases the precision. At least that's my thinking right now. I have no idea if that's true, but that's what I'm rolling with. If you want to do the safe bet, then the Elite Ground Service is probably the better choice. What else? You can actually get a historical camo, which is very pretty, which gives you hit points, increases your bomb and torpedo damage, and decreases your surface detection. So that's all very nice. And commander skills are now getting a little bit more interesting. Now, once again, I've done this setup before. I've seen the tier 8. The tier 8 actually gets the FAA skill. So you actually really want, if you're planning to get a commander to grind through the lines, do yourself a favor, because I don't know where you can get the tier 8. It's probably in a crate or something. But you don't want to have to reset. So if you want the extra air defense, you could get the battlefield support for one more, and the AA defense expert probably worth taking on this line if you're planning to grind up further. We are getting the dogfight specialist, which makes our fighters better, and I'm using the extinguisher here, and exploit weakness. I mean, I can't really set fires, but I'm not going to have a hydro. I mean, unless the upper tier ships are going to get hydro. I don't know that yet, because I haven't seen the 9 and 10. Generalist would be also a useful trait to take, but not going to make an awful lot of difference. Alrighties. Anything I forgot to mention? No. So yeah, like I said, 105mm auto secondaries, not doing an awful lot of damage, but 6-kilometer range, and you've got the skill, which is going to get it up to presumably 7.2 kilometer. Which is a pretty good range already, and you can start shooting at things. So let's get into that. In the first battle, bottom tier, we're up against a Furious, so a British aircraft carrier, Nagato, Gneisenau, Belfast, Mayhem, Gallant, and an Icarus. So 3 destroyer, a Belfast, and 2 battleships. All right, and I now have to manage fighters. I have forgotten the obligatory trigger warning. I am not a very good aircraft carrier player, so if you are and you get triggered by seeing people not doing the right thing, then fair warning. Anyway, once again a domination map, so the first order of duty is moving forward, being careful because these things are proper quick, and sending the aircraft out. So we're going to scout down this direction in general, and then just send the torpedo bombers this way, and I'm going to try and capture the enemy fighters. So I'm going to try and send my fighters back, actually about here-ish, because that's where I'm going to be, and see if I manage to get the enemy fighters into a dogfight, because then I can actually do something. Okay, there's a man, so destroyer first, dive bombers out. Now, you are going to overpenetrate, and you've just seen it there, right? It didn't do anything. So oftentimes it can be probably worth just not bothering and just using the torpedo planes, because that actually does some damage. And yes, we have somewhat managed to pull the fighters, but our fighters have taken a lot of damage, so I am going to actually, I think, retreat those home. Because I'm right here, so I'm just going to land them, let them rearm and repair, and then get them out again. So we don't have an awful lot of them. Belfast light cruiser, but there's destroyers. Okay. There's a T-61. He should be able to handle that, right? Maybe, don't know. Okay, let's send some dive bombers out again and see what we can do. Yes, I know I still have to do the fighters. There's too many things to do at the same time, right? Right now I'm focusing on using my torpedo bombers against the Gallant. We're about 5 seconds away. Gallant is unspotted. Should get spotted any second now. Okay, where is he? Where's he going? Where are you going? You going this way? Okay, a little bit more, maybe. No, there. Okay, that looks about right. Yay! 2 torpedo hits. Okay, fighters out. Where are the enemy planes? Over yonderish. Okay, let's send them over there then. And I think they have managed to capture our fighters this time, so these are probably going to get lost. There's a Gallant. Okay, Gallant's coming my way, so I'm going to send the dive bombers down this. The dive bombers down this way. and just keeping him spotted. I mean, that's one advantage. Oh, that was actually not bad. Yeah, that was pretty good. So you can get good hits, but you can also over-penetrate because it's armor-piercing bombs. It's not going to happen in the normal carrier. Okay, where's that guy going? You see, he's probably skirting around the island. So let's send the torpedoes down this way, and then get back there. And oh yeah, we got one torpedo hit, and you know what? Secondary overload can take care of it. Never mind. Yep. Plop. I love this. Alright, and now we're gonna drop the Belfast. Maybe we can get a citadel on that thing. And yeah, my fighters died, so I'm gonna have to get these out again. Do something about the enemy fighters. I know there's too many things to take care at the same time. I can't multitask that well, so let's torpedo drop the Belfast. Is he going forward or not? Can you make up your mind? Okay, that'll have to do, and then let's get the fighters out and see if we can shoot some planes down. Because there are... Yeah, we still got 2 torpedo hits. That wasn't too terrible. No citadel though. Okay. So just dive... let's see if we can do something about these torpedo planes. These battleships are coming uncomfortably close, so I'm actually going to start moving forward here. And we are holding 2 of the capture circles, and that Belfast is running as fast as he can. And because he is running low on hit points, so I'm going to start torpedo dropping the battleships. Because I can dive bomber drop the Belfast. So let's just make sure that the Belfast is dead. And once again, they send the fighters out here-ishly to help with... to help against these enemy torpedo planes. Okay, that worked. Okay, 1 drop on the Belfast, but I have to pay attention to the Nagato now. But there-ish, maybe. Okay, let's see if that works out. Line that up. And that should be a dead Belfast, if I have anything to say about it, and it is! Yay! Alright. Where are my fighters? Did they get captured again? Why are they over there? I wanted them to protect these ships. Anyway. Okay, we've got a full health, almost full health Gneisenau and Nagato still out there. So this isn't one yet, but the enemy carrier is being killed, I think. And at this point, it's just me dropping stuff on the Nagato. You know, when you can't use your fighters very well, the alternative in this thing is just literally sail up next to your destroyer and do the AA the old-fashioned style. Okay, carrier's dead, so that's not a problem anymore. And you know, that works. The ship's fast enough. You know, you can do that. Just park it next to it and just do the AA by hand. So that's a possibility. Yeah, against battleships, especially top-tier battleships, you will oftentimes not necessarily get a... we still got 2 torpedoes in. Get a citadel, but as you've seen, it is technically possible to get one. It just doesn't happen very often. Okay, and you can see the AA doing a number on... and these aren't even American. Like, if you go up against the Colorado, things don't go out. Things don't end well. Okay, yeah, this is mid-tier gaming. Extremely close-range engagement there. And we were just, you know, we're far enough ahead on points, so I can just... I'm just trying to get into secondary gun battery range, but I think the game will be over before that happens. So just line it up, and I can still use my torpedo planes. Okay, let's cover semi-pens. Gneisenau is probably going to be dead by the time I make it there. Shots are coming in against the Gneisenau. Yeah, he's never going to do. Yeah, he's dead. And we still got the Nagato to shoot to torpedo, so that's a good thing. Let's do that then. Is he reversing? Doesn't matter. Even if I drop my torpedoes half a mile away, these torpedoes are fast enough to actually get there. Okay, Damocon's still on him, but it's not that we could capitalize on that because the, you know, we can't set any fires. But still getting the dive bombers, just switching on the secondary overload in case, but I think that we're just out of secondary range and can't start shooting at that thing. And second drop in, yeah, we haven't done enough. So let's see if we can finish him off with the torpedoes. And, but yeah, he's still the last ship alive, so there's not going to be an awful lot happening. So the... Weser. Is this a great carrier? Are you going to do like great numbers of damage? I don't know. I mean, the main thing, just like with the other ones, is that you can't do the main damage output. Oh, but we still got an assist, so I think we just managed to get that. And we came on top of the team. Nice. Yeah, you can't really do the typical carrier thing where, you know, you set a fire with the dive bombers, then they wait for the Damacon, wait for 10 seconds for it to get on cooldown, and then try to get a permaflood, or the other way around. You can't really do that in these things, because while you can set floods with the torpedo planes, you can't set any fires with the dive bombers. So, you know, it doesn't really work. It's still fun, though, because once again, these things are quick. They actually have a decent amount of guns. And, you know, if you are being a typical carrier problem, you're being chased by it, you're being attacked by a destroyer, you're being rushed by a destroyer. In this thing, put the engines on full ahead, put the stern of the ship towards the destroyer and run away, and just keep dropping dive bombers and torpedo bombers on him. Meanwhile, the auto secondaries are going to work this thing over, and while they don't do an awful lot of damage individually, it'll add up over time. And this thing does over 30 knots, so it's gonna have a devil of a time actually catching you if you see it in time. So there's a lot of awesome stuff you can just do with this ship, which makes it a fun ship for me. So once again, for me, this is this feels like a good beginner level carrier, sort of, where you can just have some fun with. I don't know if that'll hold for the higher tiers, obviously, because at some point you need to, you know, get good and actually learn how to use this thing properly. But look, it's not the world's largest damage dealer, but it's a fun ship, and for me, this is worth something. So there we are, a carrier that I enjoy playing. I would have still preferred if these things had 150mm main guns, but they don't. So anyway. That's it for today. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.